So cool. I'm going to start with general admission tickets, right? The things that have existed in my race pass for the longest period of time. The best, fastest way to add tickets to your event is general admission tickets. We've added the features to create tickets to your event in season management. So like I said, the ticket management screens have all changed, but I'm going to start in season management. So when I go to season management, just like you would edit any of your events that we talked about on Monday, if I go to my events, I can view all of them and edit all of them. So at the beginning of the week, we created an event for Friday. So I'm just going to use that as my example. So as though this was tomorrow. So when I click into that event, there's an interface here to add tickets. So when I do that, and I mean, literally, this should take you no time flat to add tickets. If you've done tickets before, you can copy from previous, or you can start from scratch. So from general admission ticket perspective, I mean, the event name, you set your availability dates, when you want them to go on sale, when you want sales to end. I would recommend sales not ending before race day, and I'll explain why when we get to the mobile ticketing features. But yeah, you set your availability dates. Set your pre-sale. If you want to have a discounted price for pre-sale tickets, you can. So like if my event is in June and I want people to buy now, I could set a pre-sale price until April 20th or whatever. So they're cheaper for the next month. That's what a pre-sale price is. There is a drop down here that says if the event is canceled, tickets will be rain checked or refunded. I want you to know that that drop down decides nothing for you. I am battling the powers that be for that to be removed. It will not have any effect on what's actually going to happen. You can rain check your tickets for a future event. You can refund your tickets. What you put in that drop down doesn't decide that. It gets decided after you mark your event postponed or canceled. And we'll show you those things as well. But then it just comes down to ticket types, right? If I'm doing general admission tickets, let's say I've got a 10,000 seat grandstand. I'll put in 10,000 available tickets, $20 a piece. If I was going to put in a pre-sale price, I could put in 15 here. You can do kids tickets, senior tickets, VIP, a lot of stuff. Tons of stuff that you can put in there. And then you can also change these, right? So if your kid's general admission is you want to have it be in there, kids are 12 and under, you can type that in here to change the name of your ticket. Do all of those things. When you press add, boom, tickets are available. And that is all that it takes to add general admission tickets. You can add all general admission tickets to your events in no time flat. It is literally that simple to add general admission tickets. From this screen, you can either click the edit button here to edit those tickets that you just created, or you can go to the ticket management interface, which I will take you to now. And this has completely changed, like I said, in the last month. So when you go here, the first thing you'll see is a list of the tickets that you've got created. I can look at all of my previous tickets. You'll see that these are all highlighted in red because they are a past date and have not been confirmed or refunded. So it's much easier for you to see which tickets still require action from you. And then there is a number next to each one of your tickets over here. That is the number of sales. And I can click on those to get to my sales report. So it's much faster and easier for you to get to your sales report that way. And it's much faster and easier for you to see which tickets need to be confirmed or refunded. Now, if I want to edit any of these tickets, and let me find one with sales so I'm not doing something pointless here. If I want to edit any of these tickets, I can click on it, edit ticket name, edit availability date, edit pre-sale date, edit ticket description. All of that stuff is in here, right? There's a new button that has been added now for publicly listed. And this it doesn't turn the tickets on or off, but what it does is make it to where you have to have a hidden link in order to access the tickets. So if I've got these tickets as active and I remove publicly listed, when I go to myracepass.com or I go to the app or I go wherever else, all this does is make it to where nobody can go find those tickets. They're still active though. So if I click the view tickets link and I send this direct link to someone via email or whatever, people still can buy via this direct link, but no one will be able to go search and find them. So if you're doing renewals, that's a very handy feature. Stuff like that. Yeah, we do. It's super convenient to do that way. If you've got, marketing partner that you want their employees to have first dibs on tickets, you can do it that way too, right? So you can send that to people in advance to have them hidden from public view, but still accessible via direct link. So that's a new feature. As I scroll down this page, I can see the event that the tickets are linked to. I can edit ticket types, and I can add coupons and posters just like I could before. Difference between the two, ticket poster is a graphic that is viewable for fans while they're purchasing the ticket, and ticket coupon is image or graphic that is on the actual ticket voucher after they purchase. The difference between the two. I've seen a couple of really creative uses for ticket coupons here lately, whether that be advertisements for future events of a similar kind, right? You're having a sprint car race and you say, hey, thanks for showing up to my May 5th sprint car race. We're having another one in July. Put an advertisement for the other sprint car race on the ticket coupon. I've seen that. I've seen QR codes be put on there for marketing partners to get directly to their website or digital, or app or whatever. So that's been a good one too. Just stuff like that. So, get creative with those. This is something that those people have in their hands. Also on this screen, again, I can get directly to the same sales report that way. And then I can also share the direct link to my social medias to buy the ticket to make it easier to get that message out for people as well. Also want to highlight on your ticket types, you probably saw it when I was creating the tickets. You can see it here as well. The waiver type stuff is in the demo or like my developer interface. Not quite yours yet, but guys, we're real close. We're real close on those digital waivers. So that's really exciting as well. That is in a nutshell.
Can you just explain quickly, when it's publicly listed, where are fans going to see these tickets?
Yes, many places. One, the My Race Pass app. If you go into your schedule in the My Race Pass app, there will be an option to buy tickets. And I have installed on my computer a way to be able to share my cell phone screen that I don't have up because, again, just a lack of preparation is going on here. So I'm gonna open that and I'm gonna show you what that looks like because it's really, really handy to be able to see tickets and buy tickets in the app. There we go. You should see it here. So literally there is a couple of different ways, right? On the main home screen of the app, there is just a tickets icon where I can click tickets and I can buy tickets to any future event in the app. Or if I'm looking at my events, like I know Swainsboro has World of Outlaw late models tomorrow, I can get tickets, or I search Swainsboro, I can click tickets for Swainsboro, I can see I'm on the 321 event, I can buy the tickets for it, I can go to their full schedule, and I can see every event that they have tickets available for, which actually right now is just these two this weekend. So in-app, anytime anybody interacts with your event that has tickets available, they see a link to get tickets. There's also myracepass.com, which is just the public profile, the same version as the app. So again, I'll choose Swainsboro. If somebody searches your track at myracepass.com, they'll be able to buy tickets there. Perfect. The other way that they can see tickets is if you've got a website through us. So I'll use Port Royal as an example here. You've got a website through us, and I look at my schedule on your website. Any events with tickets available, we'll have a tickets link there as well. And then, of course, we put in a lot of like custom buttons for specific tickets for these tracks as well. So Port's having a Parmalee concert. I can buy Parmalee concert direct there. We'll do the same thing when they do the Tuscarora 50, that kind of stuff. So it's available on website. It's available in app. It's available at myracepass.com. If you've got tickets available, it's hard for fans to miss it. Chris?
So even if you're not pounding them with advertisements, Facebook posts and everything, when they go to look at your stuff, they are buying tickets, paying for their tickets, and you don't have to do any work to get tickets sold to your place.
Yep. Chris?
With that too, guys, the biggest thing, the biggest advantage that my race pass offers for that is the network with that as well too. Austin, I sent you a Slack here real fast. So if you want to pull that up, we can. But when you add your event to your schedule, and you have a ticket for sale on that, a driver can add your event to their own schedule. If you have a series coming to town, your events on their schedule as well. And then you can have those tickets show up on their individual websites. Like Garrett Alberson, he has a website through us. So you can see he has this 34 Raceway event added to his schedule. That means that ticket tab is added to his schedule as well. So the drivers are promoting the event for you as well too. So is the touring series when they add it to your schedule. So you think of it of like, if you have all your drivers add your events to their own schedule through My Race Pass, and you have tickets, you can have 120 different drivers showing that your tickets are for sale and promoting them. So if I don't know your racetrack, but I know who Garrett Alberson is, and I go to his schedule, and I see, oh, there's tickets available. Boom, I'm going to go to that. So the 34 Raceway should be down the bottom, toward the bottom there. You'll see right, it's in Slocum. There it is. Yeah, right there. So those are the events, and that money goes to the promoter, obviously, not Garrett. So it's another way for your tickets to show up in thousands of places as well too.
Yes. That's why we bring Chris. He's the sales guy. He knows all this stuff. Same thing for like Port. If I go to High Limit website, they'll have tickets available on their High Limit website for the show at Port Royal, because Port Royal's using My Race Pass to sell their tickets. So all of those things are linked together. Cool. That's general admission tickets. And that's going to be a pretty good overview of how all of our tickets work as well. Over the last 3-ish years now, we've also developed a pretty robust reserved ticketing platform. Again, WISSOTA 100 uses it. So if you're familiar with that event at all, you know that you buy tickets or camp spots or pit stalls through that. But I want to show a couple of examples of what some of our reserved seating maps look like, because we have many at this point. And yeah, we can do a lot of things with them. So from a fan buying perspective and what the tickets look like perspective, we can do a lot of different things. I'm just going to continue using Swainsboro because they race tomorrow. You can have reserved seating or general admission style tickets, general admission sections. We sell pit stalls through this. There's also certain circumstances where we've got camping or we've got pit stalls going through this.
Tailgating.
One other thing that I want to show, Eagle is doing this. They actually have an entire season pass for pit stall reservations. So for every single one of their regular events, you can go in and you can select your pit stall at Eagle. They only have 5 left. So if you're going to do that, do it now. But that you can reserve your pit stall for the entire year. So if you're struggling with people Venmoing you or calling you or texting you or trying to figure out what pit stall they're reserving throughout the course of the year, or you've got a made-up graphic on Facebook doing that, look, let's just do it this way. It's a heck of a lot easier and more efficient for you to do it that way. So these pit stall reservations have really taken off this year. And again, camping, true as well. We can do campground, and we can do really whatever you want to get as creative as you want with selling individual spots through our reserved ticket platform through My Race Pass. I like to use New River as an example as well, because in the process of getting creative with this, they sell trackside spots. They let people park all the way around their racetrack. So, if you want to drive your pickup up to turn 1 and watch from there, you can buy a spot to do that. So you can get as creative as you want to with our reserved ticketing features. Beyond that, I'm just going to go through the different features we've got tab by tab and hopefully put a bow on all of this for you. And Chris, if you've got something that I've missed, feel free to jump in. But I'll jump down to ticket packages. Ticket packages are for the purpose of multi-day events, right? I've got a 3-day event. I'm selling individual days, right? I can buy a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday ticket, but I can also buy a multi-day package to that event. This works with general admission tickets or reserve tickets. You can do either one. So as a fan, when I go to buy, I'm going to use Five Flags as an example for this. When I go to buy tickets at Five Flags Speedway, I can buy an individual event ticket March 22nd. Great. I'm also going to get a message on the screen when I select this that, hey, there's a 3-day ticket package available for this event as well. So I can buy my 3-day package, or I can buy single-day tickets for that event. 3-day package works the same way. Here are the events included in it. Pick your spot. Now you've got 3 tickets in one. So the difference between the ticket package and like a season pass is when you do a ticket package, 2-day package, 3-day package, 4-day, whatever, what the fan is going to get is they're going to get an individual ticket, an individual barcode for each event in the package. So like for that Five Flags example where there's 3 events, fan goes in, buys Friday ticket, Saturday ticket, Sunday ticket. In one transaction, they buy 1 ticket package, but they get 3 unique barcodes, 1 for each event. So if you're doing a major event and you're scanning tickets in each day, this is the best route for you to go. Is to be able to you're selling someone individual tickets for each race night at the front gate. That is a ticket package. Again, could be general admission style, could be reserve style. That's what a package is used for. Chris?
One thing to think about that is you can get kind of creative with them. One of the bigger things about 3-day ticket packages is generally promoters, I think it's a smart idea, will offer like $5 off the whole 3-day package compared to if you buy each individual day individually. So you can kind of, that way you guarantee that fans there all 3 days. So maybe it's $10 per day individually for a 3-day show, $30, or if you buy all 3 days at once in the care pack in a 3-day package, it's $25. So you save $5 they're there all weekend. If you do that though, Austin, go ahead and go to an individual ticket if you can. Because when you do that, your ticket types have to match up. That's one thing to think about. So
ticket types.
Your adult general admission on your single day package, if you're going to discount that in the 3-day package, it has to be the adult general admission. You can name override it, but it has to be that same type. So if you get to a point where you're doing a 3-day package and you're like, for some reason it's just saying it's more expensive to buy this than it is to buy the single day passes, get a hold of us. We'll look at it and see what's going on there, because the discount will show up on the ticket page. They will tell the customer, hey, this is $5 off the single day package for the event. It will tell them up front. So that's a huge advantage to that as well. The other thing I want to mention here is, I know in our industry, in motorsports, a lot of the times for a multi-day event, whether it's 2 days, 3 days, whatever it might be, a lot of promoters might say, hey, you buy a ticket for the first day and we give you a wristband for the whole week. If that's the case, you're going to want to think about how you want to do this, because if you do a 3-day ticket package, you tell them you only need 1 ticket stub for the whole week, you get a wristband, they're going to have 2 extra ticket stubs there for the next 2 days that you don't want them to scan. So if you come to a point where, hey, you want to do a 3-day ticket package and you want to see how best to set it up, do I do a punch card? Do I do a multi-day pass? Get a hold of us. We'll gladly kind of give our opinion, like, hey, let's do it this way. I think it's your best bet. We'll go over the options with you and make sure it's all set up for you, if that makes sense for everybody.
Yep. So that brings us really to the next feature, punch cards. And there's 3 variations of a punch card for 3 variations of how you want to use them. Most commonly, it's used for a season pass. So when I add a punch card, I can either have it be a season pass, a per event, or a total punch. A season pass is what it sounds like, right? It's 1 scan per event. You pick the events that are eligible for it. So if you've got a 20 race schedule, but 5 of them are special events, you can have a season pass for all 20 races or just for the 15 regular races or whatever else. But it's 1 redemption per event that you choose. And that's really all it is, right? I mean, it's just 1 scan per event. A per event pass allows you to set a number of redemptions per event. So what that means is this is where you can start like really getting creative. Like I almost like compare it to minor league baseball, where I add which events are eligible, but now I could potentially add 5 scans per ticket bought. So now that person's basically buying a block of 5 tickets. And it can be scanned 5 separate times, same barcode, which also gives them the freedom and flexibility to be able to send those other 4 barcodes to the 4 other people that they're bringing. So they bought a block of 5 tickets at once. That's the per event pass, right? It's still number of redemptions to be used at one event, but now, you know, they can buy a block of tickets for that event. The total punch pass is a little bit different, allows a set total number of redemptions, but it's not limited to one specific event. So that means that I can add 15 races to my total punch pass, add 10 redemptions. And what that means is that they've got 10 scans that they can use at any of those 15 events. They could use 5 at one event. They could use, you know, 1 at each one that they go to. They can really do whatever they want. So it's an opportunity for you to get creative, to get people to start buying more unconventional tickets that are, you know, I guess more revenue for you, right? So, you know, somebody buys a ticket worth 15 scans, they only go 6 times. Hey, you still made the revenue. They bought it up front. You know, that's kind of where that advantage comes into play. So again, 3 different options there. Season pass, 1 redemption per linked event. Per event pass, multiple redemptions at a singular event. Total punch, set number of redemptions, not limited per event. And yeah, use those however you see fit. I will say, if you're doing this with a reserved seating map, the per event and total punch passes cannot be used that way, because it's just way too complicated to get involved with a ticket map for individual seats when they could go anytime. But it does still work with a season pass. We got many of those people doing that with a season pass. And actually, that's how we do our year-long pit stall reservations or camping spot reservations or things of that nature. And Chris, I'll come to you in a second. To his previous point, when we talked a minute ago about a multi-day event where they only have to scan one time and you give them a wristband that they wear all week, this is also how we do that. We just set that up for Kokomo actually not long ago. We do a total punch for multiple dates, but only 1 redemption. So they can only scan that barcode one time, but it doesn't matter if they come Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Whenever they come, that barcode scans one time. They get a wristband. They can't scan that barcode again at subsequent events. So that's there's multiple ways to skin a cat, I guess. But those are the. Is
that how we do the 100? Is that how we do the?
Yeah, that's how we did it last year. Okay. It worked way better that way.
Okay.
I think maybe the last 2 years. I think a couple of years ago we were doing the big ticket packages, but we just didn't have the manpower at the window to scan every night, so it kind of got to be a little lost in the shuffle. So we went to that one total punch and just gave them a wristband, and it seemed to work much better.
Works good. Yep.
Cool, Chris.
Yeah, and to that point that we mentioned there, I don't know if also mentioned or not, but one thing to think about with the punch cards, the per event, the total punch or season passes, we don't do refunds on those ourselves. Like as an individual ticket, we can issue the refunds for you if you get rained out, but we don't do the refunds for you on those. So the season passes, while it might be a little too late to have season passes for most of you, think about season passes as a way to get revenue up front for the beginning of the season. There are a lot of times in a year where promoters, they go into night number 1 on such a thin wallet because they just bought new concession stands, they just put the lights back on, and they're hoping to make some money. Well, if you sell season passes up front for 2 months, you might bring in a couple $1,000s. Now you're sitting kind of comfortable opening night, and you can maybe have a little more leniency towards what you want to do opening night now. But to that point there with the multi-day passes, where you get 1 ticket per day in the multi-day pass, and this one, that's one of the things, the balance there. Do you want to issue refunds yourself in the event of a rain out, or do you want to, or the multi-day pass, we can do refunds for that specific day. So if Friday runs, Saturday doesn't, we can refund just a Saturday ticket in a multi-day pass. So that's why I said, again, if you get to a situation where you want to add tickets for a multi-day event, but you're not sure which route is best, just contact us. We'll walk you through your options and make sure you know the facts on how to do both of them here and which might be the best for you guys to decide on.
Yeah, perfect. So the next question, that really comes up is the financial side of things, right? How do I get my money? So when I go back to the ticket management screen, and I'm going to talk a little bit here about, kind of expand on what Chris was talking about, and I go to one of these past events, the confirm or refund process hasn't changed, but again, because this is a new interface, it's in a new place. So when you find one of those tickets on ticket management that's red, and you say, oh, I've got action to take here, we'll go to the March 3rd event, confirm or refund ticket. If March 3rd's events happened, you go in here, you type complete, you type in the verification code that was sent to the correct phone number, We send you the money. It goes typically on Monday, whatever the ACH process is, usually, 2 days, 3 days later, it's in your bank account. That's the process. If the event did not happen, canceled, whatever, this is where refunds happen, right? So if you're going to refund this event, it's the same process. Send the code, type the word refund here and save, and then we send the refunds. We also fight any chargebacks. So if somebody does happen to file a chargeback, we fight that, right? So if the event happens, we send the money to you basically right after you confirm this. If the event doesn't happen, you have the ability to do refunds this way. Now, what about if you don't want a refund? If you want those to be rain checks, right? That was the other thing we're going to come back to. See, and I'm going to answer that question about Canadians here very soon. Season management, and I go to the event itself, and we're going to say, okay, hey, this event, it didn't happen, but we're going to actually postpone it. We're not gonna refund it right away. So it's the same process that we talked about Monday. Instead of running as scheduled, we're going to change the status to postponed and confirm. And then what I can do now is I can migrate these tickets. So when I migrate these tickets, I can choose a different event on my schedule, and I don't have one created past tomorrow. But imagine I typed a different event in my schedule right here. I can unredeem all migrated tickets, which means that everything you scanned becomes unscanned, so those people can get in the gate again. Send the same verification code, type it in, and migrate. There's also a process that doesn't have an interface, but it does exist, to where we can migrate those tickets into a single punch card, so that rain check can be used at any event of your choosing, as opposed to just one event in here. So if that's what you want to do, get a hold of us. We can definitely do that as well. So from the financial side, those are really your three options, right? I can refund, I can migrate, or I can claim the ticket money. Chris?
We do have one more too. I think it's now, I don't know if it's now built into the user interface, but we can do it for you, where if you have a policy for like weekly shows that there's no refund, but you can bring your ticket back for any weekly show, we can turn that single event ticket into a rain check good for one scan to any event you would like. So that might, you can migrate all tickets as well, or now you are able to go ahead and migrate, just, turn that one into a one scan punch card. So now the fan rained out opening night, we tell them, hey, we're racing next weekend and we have 7 other weekly shows, bring it back to one of those and you're good to go. So we had that option for you as well. I think we tested it last year, it went really well. Either it is interphased in yet, or it's going to be, but we can do it for you.
It works great. You just have to let us know that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Cool. Now the Canadian stuff, right? So I've asked multiple people for updates on this today in preparation for today, and here is what I was told. It is the #1 next thing on our priority list. The process with our legal team there is like on the cusp, maybe in the next month or two, of being completed. And we potentially could get this done quickly enough to where come fall specials time, Canadian Tracks can use our ticket platform. I don't want to promise that that's absolutely true, but it's looking increasingly like we might be able to even do tickets sometime this racing season for Canadian Tracks. So it's not available today, but I've received assurances that it is available very darn soon, if that makes sense. And that's all the information that I can give, because there's a legal team involved and I'm not a lawyer. That's where we're at with that. If you have any other questions on that, please refer them to Chris. So getting back to where we were with tickets, right? So we talked about ticket packages. We've talked about punch cards. We've talked a little bit about the new ticket interface, some of the general admission and reserved options that we have. The next thing I really want to take a look at is at the track stuff, right? So scanning and box office system. So when I go to tools, both of those things are built in here. I'll come back to analytics and we'll talk a little bit about pass lists, but I really want to talk about this stuff first. So this tools page there's going to be a couple of different things here. There's going to be mobile ticketing, which I'll talk about next. There's the box office point of sale system, and there's scanning and redemption. So scanning and redemption here, basically what you can do is you can add user permissions to give individuals the permission to be a ticket scanner, and you can open up demo tickets for you to be able to practice things on. But what ticket scanning really is, and it comes actually, it's in the box office system, is just another tool for scanning. The primary tool for scanning, though, is in the app, right? So if I come to the My Race Pass app, I can access scan tickets feature if I have the prerequisite permission. Upcoming event of tomorrow, I've got a ticket scanner right here in the app, right? It works off my phone's camera, and yeah, right there in the app for you. What I like to do is I like to get a little Bluetooth scanner, Bluetooth it to my phone, and use the Bluetooth scanner version. I like to do it that way on my phone instead of out of the box office system, because I like to move around. I like to stretch my arm out to help somebody out who can't lift it very high. I like to do those types of things. Works really well for me. So that's the first scanning option that we've got, is in the My Race Pass app. There's a scanner, and you can Bluetooth that to a ticket scanning device. The next option for ticket scanning comes out of the box office. In the box office screen, there's a redeem window. This cursor, let me pick the right event here. When you don't complete your tickets, this gets to be a mess. This cursor stays in the barcode box the entire time. You USB, in this case, a scanner into the laptop that you're using, scan with that USB scanner. It shows up on your computer screen, red or green. For a single event ticket can't be scanned more than once. Ticket can't be scanned on the wrong date. All those things are true. All that kind of stuff is there. So really, those are the two main options for redemption through scanning, is in-app or through this interface. Now, a lot of folks out there don't want to scan, which I get. I mean, especially if volume's not high. It doesn't make sense for some people. So what I would recommend doing if you don't want to scan in that case is just coming to the sales report, like right before your event starts. Have your time cut off at like 4 o'clock or whatever. Come in here at 4:30, print my tickets report, and that'll give you a list of everyone who purchased and how many they purchased and all that kind of stuff. So you can just have a will call, quote unquote, window set up, mark those people off with a Sharpie as they come through. You didn't scan to redeem, but you still, had a will call or a manual process there. So those are really the three options that I would have for redemption, is either that, the in-app scanner, which is my favorite, the box office USB scanner, or just a will call list, however you'd like to do that. The next thing I want to talk about in this tools page is mobile tickets. This is brand new for this year. This is the newest feature that we've got in ticketing, and personally one that I am enthusiastically excited for, because in our beta testing at a couple of selected racetracks, it's been a huge thing for them to help make their lines go much faster. So we've got in mobile tickets, we've got basically what mobile tickets is in a nutshell is it's a QR code poster that you can hang at your facility that someone can scan, and it brings them to a smaller version of the ticket buying interface so they can very quickly and efficiently buy tickets on their mobile device. And when I say quickly and efficiently, I had my wife test this, and I can promise you she does not care about My Race Pass, okay? She tested this for us. She was able to buy tickets to an event in 35 seconds. Imagine a long line, people see that QR code, buy a ticket in less than a minute or whatever, and be able to scan and get in the door, reduces your line, gets people in the door faster to get them to your concession stands faster. It was just such a huge benefit to these racetracks. They had told me flat out that, yeah, I mean, we didn't make more money. These people were already here. But you know where we did make more money? Is we made more money at concessions. We made more money at merchandise, because people statistically who come to the racetrack with X amount of dollars in their wallet, they're going to spend that X amount of dollars in their wallet. And so if you can have them pay digitally for their ticket, they've got more to spend at concessions and merchandise. They do spend it at concessions and merchandise, so you'll make more money overall at some of those other things. So the way mobile ticketing will work for you, if you go to tools, you can either generate a QR code that you can put wherever the heck you want, or you can print a poster, skip the line, purchase tickets now, print this poster, put it up wherever the heck you want. And that's really all it takes, right? Scan QR code. It's an automatic link to today's event. Like this QR code is always just going to be the link to today's event. So you can use the same QR code all season long for every event. It'll work every time. And people get in the gate much quicker and easier. And when this was first getting built, I kind of shrugged my shoulders at it. And then I saw the effect that it had at an actual event. And I said, whoa, this could be a game changer for people. So really encourage you to take advantage of mobile tickets. Chris, I'm sure you got something to follow up there.
Yeah, this is kind of what we talked about. The digital waivers are coming close. We're going to really encourage this for digital waivers in the process there, the mobile ticketing. So the way the mobile ticketing is going to, the way that the digital waivers going to work is mainly going to be through mobile ticketing. So, but yeah, this is going to speed things up. A lot of times we hear like, hey, did your box office take credit card payments? Well, no, it doesn't. This kind of replaces that. There are places moving to things like this instead of an actual point of sale. So if you don't have a point of sale or credit card reader at the front gate, you can add tickets online and then have the mobile ticketing and tell them, hey, if you have a credit card, scan here, and you buy a ticket in 30 seconds or less. It's really simple. So if you have questions on that, reach out to us. The generate QR code, if you click that button there, Austin, he already showed you the flyer, but this here you can take to your local print shop and tell them put it on a banner, like a nice 3x5 banner too. And then you have that at the front gate, so it's bigger. So it's kind of there for you guys to utilize as needed as well. But that flyer will print off. I believe it is formatted for 8.5 by 11. So it's going to print off nice and big on a full piece of paper for you.
Yep, that's correct. So the last thing that I really want to talk about with online tickets is a pass list. And, pass lists have existed for a while with our reserve ticketing platform. But this time I want to talk about it in a new way that I haven't covered before on one of these webinars. Callie was nice enough to kind of be a little bit of the demo beta tester for us at WISSOTA 100 last year with this. And it's the renewal process, right? So if you've got reserved seating, you run big annual event. Oftentimes you want people to be able to renew the same seat or the same spot that they had last year. This is how we can do this, right? So there's 3 steps to the process. Step 1, find event from last year. So I can go into my, disabled tickets or archive tickets from last year and print off the tickets, or not print off, download the tickets report. So I take my tickets report, I export it into a pass list download. Step 2 is I go to a pass list, I create a new one, and I'm just going to use an old one that exists already, and I import ticket holders, and I choose that file, right? When I choose that file that I just downloaded, I make sure that I generate reservation codes, because those codes are going to be what you send people. And I have an expiration date in here. Expiration date is when renewals are done and you want tickets to go live to general public. That's what expiration date is. So then I import that. Third step to the process is I export this email list, and that allows a download that you can put into a MailChimp or a Constant Contact or something like that to make it very easy to send everyone their codes. So what this will do is this will email everybody in this pass list, which should be all your ticket buyers from last year, a code to unlock the seat that they had last year and not be able to buy anything else, and have everything to the general public look as though it's unavailable until that date expires. So I'm not going to go through this super closely, because it's just going to apply to a small group of people. But I really want to focus on, we've had people tell us, I don't use your online tickets because you don't do renewals. And I'm here to tell you, yes, we do. We have renewals. And if you want to know how renewals made Callie's life easier, just ask her. It made your life significantly easier last year.
Incredible.
So again, didn't show a lot there, just kind of gave a high level overview of the process. But I wanted to talk tickets tonight, and I think that was all the features. I don't think we have anything left. There's 45 minutes worth of high level features. There's not a lot in tickets that we don't do anymore. Chris?
Last thing let's touch on is analytics. there.
Oh, I forgot. See, I always forget something.
Yeah.
Analytics. Analytics is awesome. The analytics page, and I'm going to filter this back for a long time so you can see what it looks like with a ton of data in here. But analytics is going to be information about your ticket buyers. Heat map is great. How many tickets were sold in that duration? How many unique customers? Where they were from in terms of municipalities? Man, this seems like great information to be used for when in terms of targeting where you're going to market. Where do your fans actually come from? Distance traveled. How far in advance do they purchase? What types of tickets were purchased for what prices? Gender and age demographics. There's so much data here. And then you can also pull through this the event analytics and the ticket holders here as well, which ticket holders, there's a lot of ways to get there. It's just a sales report. But if I choose event analytics, now I've got the analytics screen for just that event specifically that I'm looking at. You can use that data for, obviously for targeted where you're going to market and how you're going to market and how far in advance you're going to put your tickets on sale and how far in advance people actually buy and those types of things. But if you're involved in your community with, economic development board or city council or boards of tourism or whatever, and they start asking questions about, where are your people coming from or this kind of stuff. I mean, look, I've got multiple instances where Racetrack has taken this data, presented it to a board of tourism, and got grant funding because they're bringing in so many people from out of county or out of state, and they can tangibly prove that because of this page. So yes, it's interesting and good, but it's also a way that you can present that to people in your community to, show them what you're really about. How often do we hear about city councils, even in Minnesota? Look, Cannon Falls, Minnesota shut down their racetrack because their city council doesn't know anything about it. The more you can educate your people about what you're doing in a positive way, showing the benefits of getting people to that community, is good. And that's what this screen really is meant for and does. Let's see. Did I miss any questions in the chat? Do we know?
Pit spots, yes. The renewal process can be used for pit spots too. That's yeah.
Yep.
Any kind of map that we build for you, that renewal process can work for. Absolutely.
Yeah, we've done it for camping spots. We've done it for pit stalls. We've done it for season pass pit stall reservations. So everybody who reserved a spot in 24 got to have a renewal for that spot in 25 for the season as well. We've done that. Yeah. All right, cool. I think that's all I've got. Chris.
One thing I want to add to this analytics page here, guys, is that it's not really, don't even think of it like just data you need to talk to tourism boards for. Well, that's great. We have had racetracks tell us they've gotten $20,000 to $30,000 grants from their local tourism board because they have quantifiable data showing they're bringing people from out of town into the city. That's awesome. But now, Austin, if you go down some of the demographics, go ahead and scroll down there for me. Now you have quantifiable data to target new sponsors. You can tell a potential sponsor, hey, look, I have 18% of my fans from last year were female. I had 78% were or 70% were male. So I can now target male sponsorship demographic areas. Now maybe it's truck driving schools, whatever it might be. You have the data to help you bring in new sponsors and to show them what kind of fan base you have, and that's what they want to know. There are companies that pay a ton of money to have this kind of data gathered for them by people, and now you're doing it just because of ticket sales. So it's a massive help in more ways than one, that you can target now sponsors for certain demographics, and you can go to tourism boards now with this just by selling tickets online. It's really, really a huge benefit for you guys.
Yeah. And my favorite thing about MRP online tickets is that because you're using race management, what does it cost you to sell tickets online? Nothing. It doesn't cost
Zero.
you a darn thing to have tickets out there. Even if you never sell one, it'll cost you $0. So that's an advantage as well. That's really all I had to share tonight. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Callie?
Do you charge for making maps?
We do in certain circumstances, but it's always a refundable charge. So we take money up front in certain circumstances to build the map, but as soon as it gets used, we refund it to you. It's just a hold. In the end, it's a net zero.
Okay. And then Jeanette Berg here was asking, what does the spectator get to show when you do that quick mobile ticketing? What does the spectator show then?
They get a text with their barcode. So instead of, it still comes via email, it still comes in the app, but they also get a text so they can access it faster.
And Austin, with that, did you, I know we mentioned how it works, but did you mention that with the mobile ticketing, if a fan does not have an MRP account, they don't need to make one? Like, I mean, yeah.
Right. So that's the advantage of doing it through text there for mobile tickets, is that if that doesn't make them sign into their account. That way they can just buy without having to sign in. They get the text with the ticket barcode.
In and out really fast.
Yep. Yes, same with Eric, same with mobile tickets. Yeah, we're not charging people to use it. It's a part of race management.
Yep.
Question time. Okay, you guys, everything we talked about tonight with tickets. Your question for tonight that you need to send me in order to get attendance for this evening, you'll need to email me, first of all, name, track you represent, and the date of the webinar. The question is, what are 3 types of tickets that you can sell for your events?
Oh, that's a good one.
Everything we talked about, give me 3 types of tickets that you can sell for your events. Pick one that really interested you. Pick one that you didn't even think was out there. Tell me 3.
Yep.
One thing I'll reiterate before we go again, like I said, if you guys want to do ticketing through us and you have a multi-day event coming up here, you're not sure what type might be best, please call us. Just say, hey, I have a multi-day event coming up, and I need to go ahead and set this up, but what's the best way to do it? We'll call you and we'll get in touch and we'll give you your options and what might be best for how you guys do your race day procedure.
Yep. Nope. Perfect. Yeah, there's one other cost to doing tickets. When Canadian tracks come aboard, you'll actually have to send me pure, high-quality maple syrup in order to be eligible. I'm just kidding. That's a joke. No, that's all I had for tonight, guys. I really appreciate you tuning in, being a part of this. Thank you so much. Tomorrow we'll talk about websites, and then it'll be time to...
Tomorrow I also have a few things that I would like to just go over a little bit real quick, and then we'll get on to it.
Cool. That works for me. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate everything. Thanks, MRP. Thanks.